Hey, so today I wanted to talk about gluten-free living tips. I get messages every day about going gluten-free and what it means, or even just your top 5 or so tips on going gluten-free. So here are my tips in a little nutshell. This will be a quick video, just for those of you who message me. I want to give you a better resource to go back to instead of just a message back for me. So first, my tip is to read labels. Always read labels. Don't just trust something's gluten-free because you think it is, because chances are it probably won't be. So I like to tell people to eat items that are labeled gluten-free for this reason, especially like processed foods. I try to stay away from processed foods, but that doesn't mean you will as well. It's obviously a personal preference. But always read labels, whether it be spices or anything. Don't trust that they're gluten-free just because you think they are. Second is learn to love to cook. You need to cook in order to be gluten-free, because guess what? It's not going to be as convenient when you're out and about getting food. Personally, for me, I cook everything I eat just because I am that severe as a person with celiac disease. I just seriously cannot risk it. I feel more comfortable making my own food. So I cook, and that's on my blog, realizingvitality.com, is all about cooking and recipes and my favorites. So either learn to love to cook, or have a family member that loves to cook, or a spouse, because that is going to help you, okay? And don't be afraid to fail when you're cooking, because let me tell you, it happens more often than not when you're cooking gluten-free, especially baking. So just get used to it and play around and have fun. That's my biggest advice, okay? And then 3 is apps and blogs. You don't know if these sources are reliable or not. So I like to tell people to use these apps like Find Me Gluten-Free, which is a great one for food, or Fujicate Allergy, which you can put gluten in as one of the allergens when you scan food with a barcode. Use these with a grain of salt, and same with blogs, because you don't know how educated the person is. I just like to give advice to people, and I just want people to know that there's more out there, and research and great literature, or on the National Celiac Foundation. Just so use these blogs as a tool that will bring you to a step further. Don't say, oh my God, this is the end all be all, okay? So that's a huge thing that I want to tell you guys, because I know when I first went gluten-free, I only listened to blogs, and guess what? I ended up sick because those people might not have been credible, okay? So my last tip, which is huge, is cross-contamination. And you might think, like, cross-contamination, does that only happen when you're cooking meats or something? Nope. So cross-contamination is scary. If you have just an intolerance, you may be fine, but I personally tell everyone to be careful with cross-contamination, because it's my whole life. So you can get cross-contaminated on everything. If I just touch my desk and touch my mouth, who knows? Someone could have had gluten when I was they were sitting here earlier in my room. And with food, like if you're using a spatula and you place it down and then you pick it up off the counter, guess what? That could have gluten on it. I'm just 100% super careful. I won't eat anything until, or touch my mouth or anything until I wash my hands with gluten-free soap. Like I said, I have celiac disease, so this is very serious for me. I will be sick for weeks if I end up getting glutened. That's what I call it. But I just want to let you guys know cross-contamination. So even getting a burger at a restaurant saying you need it gluten-free, and they bring a bun, and the bun's just taken off and you get your burger back and you can still see the bun. Nope, sorry, can't do it. It's just touching anything that is gluten or could have gluten is cross-contamination, and that's like huge for me. I'm my biggest advocate with cross-contamination. I'm just super careful even when I cook. And so that's something you could probably Google and see what it's all about. The National Celiac Foundation has tons of resources on this kind of stuff, okay? For those of you who need to go gluten-free, whether you have celiac disease like I do, or you have another disorder or autoimmune disorder that you have to go gluten-free for, these tips will be very helpful for you. And last but not least, always remember the basics. So a lot of unprocessed foods are naturally gluten-free. So obviously your veggies, your fruit, and meat and such, as long as there's no marinades or anything on it. I just want to give you guys a word of caution as well. To say you go apple picking, and your family is picking apples with, guess what? What did they probably just eat? Cider donuts, my favorite, my old favorite actually, apple cider donuts. You can't just bite into that apple then, because guess what? That's cross-contamination. They just touched it. So always wash your fruits and veggies. I always also use this veggie wash I found at Whole Foods. It's labeled gluten-free, and it just makes me feel better. I'd rather use that. So I just want to let you guys know this stuff, and hope these tips were helpful for you. And I will do another video on my story if you guys want to hear more, or what it means to be gluten-free. Okay, so those are my top 10 tips. Oops, sorry, top 5 or so. So again, here's a recap. Read your labels, learn to love to cook or find someone that does. Apps and blogs, use them with a grain of salt. And cross-contamination, number 4. And 5 is always remember the basics. Basic foods that are gluten-free, fruits, veggies, meats, such like that, potatoes. And that is it for today. Okay, guys, hope this was helpful. Bye.